I've been remote for the past 3 years as a software engineer and a small YouTube content creator, but in those 3 years, I never really invested in my work from home desk setup. When I transitioned from going into the office every single day to temporary remote, I was always budget conscious and kept my desk setup very minimal. Right now, I'm full-time temporarily remote, but hopefully I can be full-time remote. And when Grovemade reached out to me about making over my desk, I was ecstatic, but more on them later. Regardless of whether I was going back into the office or staying remote, I was going to be spending many hours at my desk for my day job and or my creative endeavors. So it was about time to revamp my desk setup. Since moving in with my partner, we've decided to downgrade to just one desk. So we actually share our desk, aka our working space. So I actually only have one half of my desk. Due to my original workspace being cut in half, I really have to be conscious about how I organize my desk setup to not make it feel too small and too cluttered. In my original desk setup, I was always struggling on where to keep my laptop, whether on the desk but angled a little bit so it was kind of out of the way. And sometimes I would even pull up a stool to the side of my desk and place the laptop there so it was just completely off the desk. Overall, I had a lot of things that I struggled with organizationally, and then I also had some things on my desk that I never really used. Before I moved in with my partner, I would use my speakers a lot. I would hook up my speakers to my PC and then would play games or edit YouTube videos. But now with someone sitting right next to me, I've found myself to not really use my speakers at all. One other thing was that underneath my desk, my cable management was awful. I had a ton of cables just back there for my monitor, PC, laptop, HDMI cables, you name it, and it wasn't organized at all. Just very untidy. So keeping in mind with all the things I struggled with my desk setup, I began to do the research. There are an infinite number of desk setups out there, but I decided to gain some inspiration mainly through Pinterest and YouTube. There were two main themes that I was considering heavily. They were the bright and airy versus dark and moody. The main draw to the bright and airy theme is that I was transitioning from PCs, which are traditionally dark in color or black, to Macs, which is silver, white, and more bright. So the bright and airy theme would have a more livelier feel to my desk, versus a dark and moody vibe, which would be more of a man cave kind of feel. I ultimately decided to go with the dark and moody kind of vibe because most of my tech accessories are black and it would be easier to match. And also, I'm just a fan of the dark and rustic texture that comes with darker woods. So I went and did a ton of research on various products and also tried to match them up so that they would all fit into one cohesive piece and create an environment that I would want to do creative work in. I bought a bunch of pieces from Grovemade and Amazon, and when they came in, I cleared out my old desk and went to work. Here's how it came out. First, let's talk about the two biggest things in a desk setup: the chair and the desk itself. These are two items I decided not to upgrade because I'll be moving soon and didn't want to buy new things and have to immediately move it. But the chair I got from my old neighbor who was moving out, and so I just nabbed it. And the desk I found on an app called OfferUp from a company who went remote and just had a ton of desks lying in a warehouse somewhere. So I got it for $25. One huge upgrade that I've made to my desk with the help of Grovemade is the desk shelf. Grovemade is a company based in Portland, Oregon, who has been helping individuals build their dream setups. They create desk accessories to not only make a desk look great, but also be cleaner, more organized, and feel better to work in. This desk shelf is made out of walnut, hardwood, and is in the size medium. I like how it elevates my monitor, but also it has some extra storage space underneath where I can store a bunch of miscellaneous things that I use. With this desk shelf, I've actually been closing my laptop and pushing it underneath the shelf so that there's more room on my desk. Moving on to my main piece of tech, it's the 2021 MacBook Pro. I recently got this a few months ago because my PC actually blew a fuse and the motherboard and GPU got fried. Since I'll be moving and am going to be more nomadic, I opted for a laptop that I could carry with me. Now, the 2023 MacBook Pro came out with the new M2 chip, but I actually decided to get the 2021 version because it was a bit cheaper and still a very high quality laptop. It's been more than capable of meeting all of my photography and videography needs. And to support the MacBook Pro, I decided to get Grovemade's Walnut MacBook dock. With this dock, I'm able to close my MacBook Pro and place it in the dock, making use of vertical space more so than my desk space. While a laptop dock was cool and new to me, I actually like the feel of hiding my laptop underneath my desk shelf. So I decided to just leave my laptop dock out and let my partner use it as she likes. So all of the Grovemade products I bought are made out of walnut, and you might have noticed the variance in color. I actually reached out to Grovemade and they told me this was completely normal. This variance is due to Grovemade not using any dyes or stains on the wood. In essence, each piece is as unique as the tree it came from. Honestly, one of the things I was most excited to get was this wool light gray desk pad in the size small from Grovemade. It adds a lot of visual structure to my desk, and I'm able to separate my keyboard and mouse with the rest of it. I've read some reviews where people will actually not even use a mouse pad and keep their mouse directly on the wool, but sometimes the felt will be picked up with heavy use of the mouse. So I decided to just place a mouse pad on top of the desk pad. And moving on to the mouse, it is the Logitech M720 Triathlon. It is Bluetooth and USB receiver enabled and takes one AA battery, which lasts 24 months of straight use. I've always used wired mouses in the past, which is amazing if you're a heavy gamer, but I don't find myself gaming too often and prioritize the organizational and cleanliness of a desk and opted to get a wireless mouse. I got this black mouse pad with wrist support off of Amazon, and I know that wrist pads don't promote the best of postures, but when I find myself working for hours a day, I appreciate the wrist pad being there where I can just rest my hands. Whenever I'm typing or actually using the mouse, I try my best to keep my wrists elevated and letting my blood circulate through my hands. Because I have a smaller desk setup, really just half of a desk, I actually decided to downsize my keyboard into a 60% wireless keyboard. A 60% keyboard just means it has 60% of the keys of a full-size keyboard. This keyboard is Bluetooth and USB receiver enabled. It has backlights, which are really cool to turn on and helps you see the keys. And there are tons of settings and patterns that you can create and customize with these lights. I typically opt to keep the backlights off, but who knows, in the future, I might really enjoy it. A pro and con of this keyboard is that it is a mechanical keyboard. So every single time you press into the keys, it provides that nice feedback that any mechanical keyboard would. But at the same time, it is kind of noisy. So hopefully my partner doesn't get too mad at me. I got this walnut wrist pad from Grovemade. This right here is a size small and it fits perfectly with this keyboard. Same thing with the mouse pad. I try not to use the wrist pad for the keyboards as I type and try to elevate my wrists, but it is nice to have that there when I'm not typing and I just want to rest my hands. I mentioned with my old desk setup that I don't really use my speakers anymore because of my partner sitting right next to me. So I opted to just completely remove the speakers and bust out these Bose headphones that I have just sitting around. These Bose headphones are noise canceling and really let me hear the audio as I edit videos. I decided to get these headphone stands off of Amazon, which perfectly fits my Bose headphones, and I have it tucked away neatly behind my monitor. But it looks really cool, so maybe I'll bring it to the forefront. If you're anything like me, you always have a cup on your desk, whether that be a bottle of water, a glass, or a cup of coffee. I actually got this coaster from Iceland, and it's made out of cork and just provides that layer of protection between that cup of coffee and my desk. Overall, with this setup, there's been a huge upgrade with cable management down under. Because a lot of my tech is now wireless and I don't have my PC under my desk anymore, I've minimized the amount of wires down hanging below my desk to just 2. One, the power cord to my monitor, and 2, the power cord to my laptop. I was also gifted this leather cord tire, which is really cool. I'll leave a link in the description below. And of course, to make my desk setup more vibrant, I have my bamboo plant. This is the first plant I've ever gotten and has been with me for the past 5 years. I really like the pop of green to my desk setup, and I think it complements all of the wood textures extremely well. Overall, I really just love my new desk setup and find myself just stopping work to just admire my desk. I absolutely love it. Huge shout out to Grovemade for making this desk makeover possible. There is one last thing that I would want to change to make this my dream desk setup, and it's removing my current desk with a standing desk. If I'm going to be working from home permanently, I want the option to be able to work while sitting and standing. Standing to just get blood flowing to my legs and being more physically and mentally awake. I'd also like my desk to be made out of the same wood material as my desk accessories. So a desk that is a little bit darker and walnut. In the future, my partner and I will probably get 2 separate desks, one for me and the other for myself as well, while she works on the couch. But even if I get a new desk, my current desk setup is very minimal and I don't need to get a large desk. While having more desk space is nice, I'm able to utilize the vertical space with these desk accessories instead of having all of my items laid out on the table. Thanks for watching this desk setup makeover. If you have any thoughts, leave a comment down below, and I hope you enjoyed. Peace.